Hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Jill here for our weekly Wednesday Q&A session with me, Jill Ortiz from Jill Ortiz Fitness. And you are here in my empowered fitness community for women over 40, looking to get energized, confident, and strong. If you're not in here, if you're watching this from my email, my YouTube, then hop on in the group if this applies to you. And this is every Wednesday we do a Q&A session where I answer your questions as to fitness and nutrition, weight loss, hormonal changes, all the good things. Metabolism comes up a lot, and we talk about the things that are holding you back from getting success. And I always let you know what's going on in the Jill Ortiz fitness world, which is always a lot of things. So I want to make sure that you have the latest invitations to all the things if you want to be part of it. This is a special week we have coming up. We have one of our famous triple threat challenges, and we've been doing these ones for years. They're so much fun because it's actually the only live teaching that I do as a personal trainer anymore. Otherwise, I have recorded all of my programs over the years. Sometimes I do record new programs, create new things, but it's not generally live teaching. And so these are 3 15-minute workouts for arms, abs, and glutes, because those have been the things for years that people have asked me how to get them to look so good, look as toned and tight and defined as mine are, and how to get a six-pack, how to get a lifted, strong, hard booty, and how to make those arm muscles pop. And so we will have those workouts in this group next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We will be kicking off that challenge with a prep session on Sunday evening as well. So if you are not in the group and you need to sign up, I will attach that link for those of you who are watching on YouTube to make sure that you are registered for the Triple Threat Challenge. All of the resources for the challenge will be organized in Guide 9 of our group, and they are already populated, many of them. They'll continue to trickle in over the next few days, but you can head over to Guide 9 and start going through all of the amazing free resources. And the challenge is completely free. I've been getting this question a lot today, so to answer your Q&A question, is this challenge actually free? Yes, to all the skeptics, it is actually free. You do not have to pay anything. There are some options if you want to add on lifetime access to the workouts and keep the 3 forever. It's $14. That's not a lot. And if you want to add 2 additional total body conditioning workouts, that's another $17, which you can add on to that. And you can start those this week. And then there's also a meal plan option. If you want to lose 5 pounds in 5 days, then you want to add on my 5-day Kickstart Cleanse and use that for the nutrition to pair with these amazing workouts during our challenge to see the best results. So those are all optional. You don't have to, but I know many of you already signed up for those and are very excited to just get started right away. So those are all the questions I get about the triple threat. The other big question about the triple threat is, what if I can't make it on at 7 Eastern? That's totally fine. The workouts are going to be in the group from Monday when I start teaching them until Sunday, November 17th, I think that is. And so you can do them anytime. If you're afraid you're not going to get them done in that week, that's why you can purchase the lifetime access, and then you'll have them forever and you can repeat them and use them as long as you like. So those are the questions that I've gotten on the Triple Threat Challenge. I also want to mention that tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be hosting a webinar on conquering weight loss. And now this webinar addresses 5 pitfalls that I've noticed recently have really been stopping clients, potential clients, people who I talk to, ladies who I talk to who are very frustrated in their journey to weight loss, who are really struggling to see results. And they may be doing or succumbing to all 5 of these pitfalls. And I ran this same webinar just a few weeks ago, and the ladies who were on there were like, wow, this was eye-opening. They were very interactive. We had a great time together, and many of them ended up joining my current challenge that started just 2 days ago, my Fit and Fast challenge, and they are having so much fun together. They're doing the work, and they're really learning a lot and learning so much, and that's been really great. So I want to also let you know that this webinar tonight is going to have opportunities for raffles and special deals with me. And at the end of the Triple Threat Challenge next week, you're also going to be offered an opportunity to continue working with me. It obviously will not be free. We can't work together for free forever, otherwise I wouldn't have a business. But it will be a great deal because it is November, and this is the month for giving thanks and good deals. Okay? Got it? Is that okay? All right, so I want to know if you're here today, let me know. If you're watching on the replay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at maybe about 10 women who have come into this group. We're gonna figure out what's been holding you back collectively as a group and see if there's any common themes. And then we're gonna go over your individual questions, okay? So when I asked what's holding you back from achieving success in your fitness and nutrition, Pamela wrote, lack of knowledge about working out. Well, that's good because I love to teach fitness, and I have taught from elementary school through middle school, high school, and adulthood and seniors, everybody about working out and what's important to focus on at each stage. I think that knowledge is empowerment. Knowing what you're doing, not just being told what to do, and doing it is empowerment, and it really helps you become the person who can make really great decisions most of the time and get yourself results and feel really confident in what you're doing and have that conviction, which helps you move forward stronger with the ability to challenge yourself more. So I'm glad you're here, Pam. Let's get learning, and you'll learn a lot next week in the Triple Threat Challenge. Tina says the reason why she's not getting results in her fitness and nutrition is I'm always hungry. Guess what, Tina? So am I. I'm always hungry. I'm excited because I'm going to be trying a new product this week, and as soon as my box comes in, my products are stuck in like Tennessee, Kansas. There was tornadoes this week, so it didn't move very quickly. But there's a new supplement that just released on the market, and it helps with appetite. It helps with fat storage, preventing fat storage, and I'm hoping that this might be the thing that helps me pass this little hump that I've been feeling lately, regardless of all the work I've been doing, of number one, just feeling ravenous and seeing the weight in my body store in my lower half. It's just one of those signs of aging. It's signs of hormonal changes. And with those hormones comes crazy hunger for me. And so I'm hoping that this natural plant-based supplement is going to help me. I know a lot of my clients purchased it yesterday as well, so they're excited to test it out. And if you're interested, just comment lean below and I'll get you information on that too. If you're somebody who is just like constantly hungry. And I'm telling you, it's not because I don't eat, right? And so that's my first question for Tina would be, are you eating enough? Because sometimes I just signed on a new client yesterday or 2 days ago, Debbie. This was from our kickoff call last night. And I'll show you, I made this note and it says under eating right there. And Debbie and I, we realized together that she really under eats in the early part of the day and she under eats during the week. And what that does is it lands her in this state of starvingness, hunger at the end of the day and on the weekends. And it leads her to binge. And so that's not going to be what we want. And instead, what we want is this sense of feeling, I would say, 80% full, right? We want to feel that we're eating to satisfaction, that we're getting our calories in so that we prevent this feeling of hunger, constant hunger. Now, if it's coming from the hormones, who knows? It's hard, right? So I'm hoping that this new supplement will help. But we do want to start with saying, are we eating enough? Are we eating frequently enough? Are we eating the right foods, enough fiber, enough fat? If we're trying to go fat-free all the time and eat vegetables all day, telling you, it's not going to help you. I ate an entire cucumber the other day and then I started eating celery stalks and then I was like, what the hell am I doing? This is not going to actually quell my hunger, right? So let's get some protein and fat in there. Okay, so moving on. Debbie says sweets and eating after dinner are holding her back. So again, same thing. is maybe if we aren't eating enough during the day, then in the evening we're starting to feel that sense of needing to binge and catch up on what we didn't eat. The other thing is having sweets that are allowed on your plan. And so I save for nighttime, I have my sleepy time hot chocolate, and it's only 20 calories. And so that's something that I look forward to. It helps me calm down and go to sleep and fall asleep and have really great sleep. And it's low calorie, it's chocolate, and I just, it's something I love and look forward to. And so that's something, knowing it's there, I don't have to eat other sweets. I eat sweets all during the day. I start my morning with fruit punch pre-workout. I have chocolate recovery. I have a cake batter protein bar that has 28 grams of protein in it. So I'm constantly eating sweets, but they're good quality products. And so that might be something that will help you too, Debbie. Okay, Sandy says snacking and or alcohol. Those are two killers, Sandy. So we got to make sure that we're eating good, healthy square meals, right? So let's say in the morning, even if it's a protein shake, if you're just having a protein shake and let's say it's 130 to 160 calories, that's not a lot of calories, right? And so what's that going to do? You're going to be hungry in an hour, right? Or those of you who eat a bagel or toast or something that kind of like it metabolizes very fast, those carbs that burn really fast. They give us a little shot of energy, but they also burn fast and they're not long lasting energy. And so we find ourselves hungry again. So if we're snackers and we're eating a little bit and grazing throughout the day, then we're never actually getting the satisfaction of eating enough. And we're always like feeling that taste and we're looking for more taste. And so that can be tough, especially if you're not snacking on the right things. You can add a lot of calories to your day, even if it's something healthy like nuts. Nuts are very, very caloric, very fatty, even though they are a plant, right? So we have to be careful with those things. Alcohol is a killer. It is empty calories. It will prevent you from metabolizing the food in your body. It will make you crazy and want to eat more things without, clear judgment. It will hinder your sleep. There's so many reasons why alcohol is a toxin. It goes right into your bloodstream and does bad things. Do I drink alcohol? Yes. Every once in a while, but I limit to one drink, maybe once, maybe twice a week, but that's it. And I'm very particular about what I drink. And, again, it's limited. One drink in a day and not doing more than that. Otherwise it leads to bad things. And, so you do have to make that choice of when and how much you're going to have. Otherwise, you're going to be sabotaging yourself from here on out. Okay. That sucks, right? But that's just how it is. So maybe we can find some new things that give us the joy that perhaps alcohol is giving you without giving you all these other side effects. Detra says that knowing what to do, I guess it's not knowing what to do that's holding her back. You're in the right place. I'll be guiding you for the next several months and hopefully beyond as to what we're going to do, what we're going to do now and why, and then next steps. And as long as we are constantly learning and having next steps, you'll be fine. Okay. Kathy says, I think myself, she herself and I are holding her back. For most of us, it is ourselves. So we've got to grow into a new self, right? We're going to learn, we're going to grow, we're going to become the better version of ourselves. And it starts with you being here. So Kathy, I'm proud of you for hopping in this group. That was step one, okay? Nancy says, I'm too busy to cook and I eat out a lot. I have no willpower. So I'm curious, Nancy, why you have time to eat out, but you don't have time to cook. And if you cooked on one day, right, let's say I usually do my prep work on Sundays in the afternoon, and I spend maybe an hour, possibly 2 hours, and I do all my meal prep so that I don't have to cook for myself all week. And maybe I still make things like for the family or whatever, but if I need to make everybody's food on that day, then I would do everything that day because I don't have time either. I have 2 kids and 2 different soccer clubs and we go an hour in opposite directions. We've got too many things on our plate for me to just leave it up to chance or have to go out, because I know that if if I go out, I don't have control over the ingredients in my food. There's often too much salt, too much fat, and it's going to take me in the wrong direction. So I would say, number one, a plan to prepare is a plan for success. And when you are prepared, then nobody can stop you, right? And I would eat out less. Quite honestly, it's going to help you way more in getting to your goals if you have control over what you're eating. The next thing is not having willpower. Well, guess what? If you watch, I have a one of the bonuses in the triple threat. So if you go to guide 9, you look in the bonuses, one of them is let's see, it's a webinar on losing weight and keeping it off. Breaking the barriers. That was the one, I think. Breaking the barriers, weight loss over 40. It talks about how willpower is not something we should rely on, because if you're relying on willpower, it means that you're trying to stave something off for so long to the point where your knuckles go white, right? And white knuckling it through the day to the point where you're gonna lose it, okay? It's the same thing if we are trying so hard to lift these heavy, heavy weights, at some point we lose that power, right? And so if you're relying on willpower as to achieve weight loss, then you're setting yourself up for failure. We don't want to rely on willpower. We want to rely on a really great plan that is going to give us amazing results that we enjoy. That's easy to stick to, not something that we need willpower for, okay? So if you try, here's my example from the Breaking the Barrier. If you tell me I'm not allowed to have any Oreos for the rest of my life, and there's a stack, a whole thing of Oreos sitting in front of me, and I have to sit there for as long as I can and not eat any, then chances are, if you raise that restriction, you say, okay, now you can eat Oreos, I'm eating all of them, right? But if you had told me that I can have one Oreo from the beginning, then I'd eat my Oreo and I'd probably be fine. So that's the whole idea, is that we don't want to be restricting ourselves as long as we can and then binging on everything. We'd rather just be playing that like little ping pong match in the middle, not this massive tennis match going back and forth between binging and restricting. Okay, so that's how we're going to fix that. Lastly, we have Brenda, who says, I sabotage myself with my eating habits. So again, we need to learn the new habits. And that's something that I talked to my current challengers about today. I left them a voice message about how so nutrition is interesting because right? You can diet for weeks and lose 5 pounds. And then you could gain that back in like 2 days, right? So our diet there's too much fluctuating in our diet. And the only way for us to actually see true results over time that we can't sabotage is if we change our habits. If we learn new techniques and if we practice them consistently, if we have accountability, and then we just become the person who would rather make the healthier decisions and choices, we just start to gravitate towards this new, cleaner eating version of ourselves. And that's something that I've seen over the years, where a long time ago it would be like, my husband and I, every night we were eating ice cream. And now it's like, if we want a treat, we're eating a bowl of granola, right? Which still has a lot of sugar. It has a lot of fat. We're eating it with almond milk. But like, that doesn't sound like a treat for most people. But for us, it is, because we've moved towards this healthier sense of self. Same thing, I used to drink so much orange juice. Now, the idea of having juice to me is like, oh my God, I'm not having that much sugar in a cup, right? And so I've saved myself so many calories by having this new outlook on sugar, because I've been practicing this for quite a while now. And it's so much easier for me to say no to a glass of juice, knowing how much sugar is in there and that it's not going to serve me, right? And so you come to get good at this. And that's why in my current challenge, I've got 28 ladies going through it right now. Every day I'm checking with them on how their nutrition was the day before, so that they're getting used to that habit of the self-check. How did I do? What did I do? Today I had them rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. And I rated myself a 7 for yesterday, and I told them exactly why. I told them the things that I did that I thought might not have served me and how I'm going to change those things to create new habits starting today. And then doing this daily for the next 4 weeks, that creates that consistency. It's the accountability, and it's what moves us to shift to a new norm, okay? Hope that makes sense. All right, so let's take a look at some of these individual questions. We've got about 10 minutes left. So Crystal says, I seem to carry my weight all on my sides. So I'm thinking love handles. I've been struggling with that. So generally, when it comes to weight gain, when we gain weight, our fat cells everywhere, it just depends on where they're distributed to, they grow at the same rate, right? And so all the fat cells grow or all the fat cells shrink. And so this is going to come down to a couple things. It's going to come down to one, adding more muscle to your body so that your body is less tethered to your nutrition, right? And so your body's burning tons of calories and it's really strong and you're gonna feel a muscle tone. And otherwise you're gonna have to hone in on that nutrition to start shrinking all the fat cells, which will shrink the sides. Now that is a really great measure. So sometimes, actually all the time, when I start a new challenge or if I bring on a new client, Debbie, one of her first assignments last night was for her to fill out a weight tracker. Now this is the one that I used 10 years ago when I started my journey, and this is the one that I created and I give to my clients. So I have them fill out their measurements, right? Their weight and their inches. And at the end of a 3 or 4 week program, they'll fill it out again. Now, sometimes the scale, if we're working on strength training and building lean muscle, sometimes the scale is not going to go down as much, but you will see that change in your inches. And so what we say is that if the scale did not go down, but the measurement of your waist went down, then what you did was you just traded out the excess fat for muscle. And so that's fine if you didn't lose a ton of weight because your waist got smaller, so you actually got leaner, okay? If your waist got smaller and your weight went up, then you actually built great muscle and traded out that fat. So these things are great. If you notice that the scale went up and your waist got bigger, then guess what? You just got more fat, okay? So that's what we got to do. Let's get lifting. Let's get eating right, okay? All right. Pamela says, what is right and what is wrong? There are so many different programs out there that I've had no success with. So generally what we're going to see out there is going to be a lot of fads and things that come to mind: keto, Atkins, low carb. I can't even think of other ones right now. Things where you are going to get a quick results because it's something new. You're going to adhere to it at the beginning. It's going to be easy at the beginning for like a week. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, I had to go to a birthday party. And all of a sudden I'm eating pizza and I'm drinking beer and I'm having birthday cake. And that all went out the window. And now I gained all the weight back. And there's no way I can even go back to eating that really restrictive way. And so anything that is super restrictive is something that you're probably going to have a hard time sustaining, right? And so that's why it becomes hard. What you want to do if you're looking for a program, the right one for you, is you want to make sure it speaks to the things that you're struggling with. So if you come in and you say, or if you're thinking in your head that you're struggling with hormonal weight gain, you're a woman over 40, and you see my ad that says, I work with women over 40 who are struggling with menopausal weight gain, and then you come in and you start listening, right? Go back, listen to my other videos, go to my YouTube, go to my blog. You've got to buy into what I'm telling you. You have to be on board. And that's why oftentimes I ask people to have a call with me. Every one of you is welcome to have a call with me so that we can feel each other out, so that you can see if you are on board with my thinking and the way that I help my clients lose weight. If you look at testimonials of women who are like you and you're like, wow, these women sound just like me and they're doing Jill's program, maybe this is the right thing for me. Number one, everything's going to always be a chance, right? You're never going to know exactly if something's perfectly right for you until you take a chance. So the more things you take a chance on, the better. It's kind of like going through bad boyfriends. You're gonna have some bad experiences, but you're gonna learn about what you need along the way and get closer to that right thing. Now, what I would say in terms of my program, people ask me like, how is your program different? Is that I am 100% in for you getting to your results. And I personally would go above and beyond and do anything and everything and teach you everything I know. And I promise to always be learning myself and bringing you and never holding back on information, because I want to empower you and help you become the person who knows your stuff and can make decisions for yourself and do these things. And so that's going to have to be a judgment for you to find the right coach, whether it's me or someone else. You're going to have to jive with what they say, feel that things that they say make sense. And that's why I think like having the Q&As, having the Motivation Mondays, having the webinar like tonight, these are important opportunities. Having the Triple Threat Challenge for you to test, for you to say, do I buy into this? Do I think this is a good fit? And what I've found is generally it's a gut feeling, it's a heart feeling. It's saying, this girl's my girl, right? I know Jill's gonna take care of me. And so I'm gonna do this program. And whether it's a small challenge or a 3-month program, it's totally on you to do your work, to figure out if it's a good fit, if it feels right, and then take a chance. And like I said, some programs, it'll be a great fit, and some programs, you'll learn something and then you'll move on, okay? All right, next question from Tina. Is Ozempic the thing that will help me? She was the one who said, I'm always hungry. So I will tell you that the reason why people lose weight on GLP-1s, which are injectables like Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, these GLP-1s, they are injectable drugs, often covered by insurance, although recently we've found that insurance companies are going like bankrupt because of them, and states are, and funds are not there, and we're having all kinds of issues. These GLP-1s are injected. They're injected because they're synthetic drugs and they cannot withstand the digestive system. They break down, so they're injected. And what they do is they curb your hunger, and so you're literally not hungry. I remember seeing a woman at a big holiday occasion, and she was, I don't want to say too much about who this was, she was making a meal, Christmas meal or something for everybody, and she sat there and did not eat a bite the entire meal. And I'm like, is she gonna eat? She's not hungry, because then I found out she's on Ozempic, and it's completely taken away all of her hunger, to the point where she's not just losing fat, she's losing his muscle mass. She's not fueling her body. She's not getting the nutrients. She's not getting the calories that her body needs to perform its daily bodily processes. And we don't want to be losing our muscle mass. That is not success, right? And that's why you start to see people have this sunken Ozempic face or whatever, GLP-1 face. And so we don't necessarily want that. What we've seen too, just to put it out there, is that when you stop these synthetic GLP-1s, that the weight just comes right back on. And the other one is that after about 18 months, they seem to not be effective. You hit a plateau point. And so the problem with that is you haven't actually learned the hard work, what you would actually do to lose weight naturally, which is going to have to do with your exercise, with your recovery, with your nutrition, with your sleep, with your stress management. And if you're just taking an injectable, you're not actually learning the skills to do all those things. And so they're finding that this is long-term a problem. We're also finding that there's a lot of overdosing and just side effects and other health problems that are arising. That's why I am looking forward to testing this new product called Lean. It is a bioactive peptide, which means that it is taken from plants in nature, and it is bioavailable, which means that your body knows how to absorb it. It's taken orally. It can survive the digestive tract. it helps you with hunger and cravings, but in the clinical studies, it was shown to not lead to muscle mass loss. In fact, it was 100% visceral fat loss, 65% of that fat loss coming from the belly area, which is perfect for my clients, which is why so many of them purchased it yesterday. If you're interested, again, it's called Lean. So I would definitely say let's try that before we look to the synthetic injectables that may or may not be covered by your insurance, are much more expensive. So that would be my advice on that. Teresa says, why do I just crave sugar? Maybe you are going through something medically. Maybe you're not having enough sugar. Maybe you're not having enough protein. Maybe you are dehydrated. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. Maybe it is stressing your brain, right? There's so many reasons. So I would say, Teresa, you would be the perfect person to set up a call with me, game plan call. We're going to go over your daily fitness, your daily nutrition. We're going to go over any other things that are going on in your life. I'm going to get to know you and kind of just listen for those red flags that might lead me to know exactly why we are experiencing sugar cravings, okay? Sometimes it's just the hormones, it's the chemicals in your brain. And if you also tell me that you haven't slept well in the last 2 years, then I might say that could be a reason why you're craving sugar too, right? So we want to get these little data points and then we can direct you properly. Okay, let's take a couple more questions and then we'll go. Detra says, I've never had a problem with weight until menopause. So part of that, and she also says she doesn't know what to do. So part of that is that everything we did, the game we were playing prior to menopause, is totally different than the game we're playing now, right? It's kind of like going into Chutes and Ladders and playing it like checkers. It's not going to work if you don't play by the correct rules of the game. So we have to learn the new rules of what's going on in this phase of life, which is something that I teach in my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot. It's linked here for you if you're interested in taking a look at that. I teach it in my coaching and really helping you understand and gain that knowledge of what's going on and what do we need to do and what's the plan of action. How do we see it through? What do we tweak when something's not working? And just battle the changes, right? So a big thing that's happening, I said this to one of my clients yesterday, is that prior to all of the hormonal changes starting, so this is before menopause, we've got perimenopause, which is when your cycle starts getting irregular. Prior to that, we have premenopause, which is when your hormones start changing, but you haven't started losing your cycle. At that point, we are basically in our 20s, in our early 30s, we've got this great coat of armor. We've got these amazing hormones in our body that they're good for our reproductive cycle. They are amazing hormones that help us with blood sugar regulation and fat storage and all this stuff and stress management. And these hormones start to decrease, our estrogen and our progesterone. They work together as sisters. And one's the calm sister and one's the crazy sister. And as they decrease and our testosterone in relationship becomes higher than those two, we lose our coat of armor, right? In our 20s, 30s, we're like Joan of Arc. And then all of a sudden we're like naked aardvark. And we've got none of this protection that we had before. And now we have to build up new protection. And it's not just going to come from hormone replacement therapy. It comes from doing the right things, which have to do with our fitness, our nutrition, our recovery, our sleep, our stress management. And so these are the things that I teach in my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot. Got it? Make sense? Thumbs up? If you want to talk to me about it before signing up for it, then just book a call with me, okay? And we'll talk about the right path for you. All right. I'm going to go through these last couple questions, even though we're a little long. Tasha wants to know, how do I keep motivated when it gets hard? Well, let's not let it get hard, okay? The way that I prevent things from getting hard is I keep it exciting. We do challenges. Guess what? Our December challenge is going to be cash prizes. That's going to be exciting. You're going to want to stay on track for that, right? We change things up in my coaching every 3 to 4 weeks, so nothing gets old and boring. We have multiple frameworks for nutrition, so if something gets hard, we just switch gears. So let's not let it get hard, and then it won't be difficult to stick to, okay? And that's what Kathy says too. Why has weight loss been so difficult for me? So maybe we just need a new approach, we need some change, we need some excitement, we need some accountability, and that will help, okay? Let's see, Nancy says, what can I do to lose the weight if I am going through menopause? Oh, good, I just went over that. So it's gonna be knowing the rules. How do we eat? Blood sugar regulation comes into effect, making sure that our cortisol levels are not spiking, okay? Doing the right exercise, heavy lifting instead of a ton of cardio, right? Or sedentary lifestyle, that's gonna hurt you too. And then managing sleep and stress. Those are gonna be huge, okay? Brenda's got the last question. Why is it so hard to keep the weight off? So she says she sabotages herself with her eating habits. That's why it's hard, because you keep sabotaging yourself and you're going in this cycle where you might be, trying really hard to not eat anything bad, and then all of a sudden you eat all the bad stuff. Or you start on a program that at the beginning you're doing good for like 5 days, and then you're like, I can't keep this up, right? Maybe you don't have the coaching, the accountability, the consistency, the fun, the change, all these things. And so that's what we want to introduce into your world. And that's what I do as a coach, as somebody who's got some focusing issues, and I don't like to stick to anything for very long either. I got to keep things fresh. I got to keep changing them. And that's why it's exciting, because we've always got new fun stuff coming up, things that have a start and an end. And then the next thing is starting right after that. We keep it fun and exciting, and we have fun together because we're all in the same boat. All right, so that's it. Thanks for hanging in there with me today. Let me know you watched. Let me know if you learned anything. If you have another question, go ahead and pop it here. If you want to take advantage of any of the things I spoke about, I've got a few links here in our post, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you on the webinar tonight, seeing you for the Triple Threat Challenge and beyond. Bye.